Education, Laurie Kilmartin.
Ready, go. That's how you start a set in swim practice. That's your coach getting you off the wall.
You know how Dana Gould ends his set? He always says, "The end." That's how he ends his long set. It always makes me happy.
Sure.
Yeah.
I was always told to close on a dick joke and then run off the stage. But those are the old days, Jackie.
Dicks, look over there. And then get in your car. It's already warmed up. Try to pay me on the way out, bartender. And the flappers that asked me to do I did that seminar, that women in comedy. In Women in Comedy, I did a seminar. Mm-hmm. I've done it a couple of times. It's just about road work and stuff.
Okay.
And it's just a seminar. And so I was talking to Josh, and Josh is listening. Hi, Josh. And he was talking about how he usually, him and another comic will often teach how to get road work kind of thing, right? Mm-hmm. And I said, well, if you want the notes from that seminar, this is my fault. I volunteered this.
Yeah, it is. I already can tell you got yourself in it on your own. You get no sympathy.
Do you know why? Because I'm a meddler. Can't leave it well enough alone. But I said that he could have my notes if he wanted sort of the bullet points that I sort of what, of what the seminar is, right? Mm-hmm. And I said, it's mostly just show up a half an hour before your set and try not to sleep with the waitress and try not to get too drunk. And, you want to sleep with people and you want to drink all the free booze but you have to remember you're at work. And he goes, and what are these? He said something like, yeah, I don't know that we're telling people the basics like that because what they should. And I was like, oh, they're comics. Or wannabe comics. Of course, they're going to have an idea that that's not part of it.
Mm-hmm. I do think for city comics, the note should be get to the club 2 minutes before your set, hire the waitress to manage you. And I forgot your third thing. Because she will definitely be working at 3 yards in months.
I am writing down, hire the waitress to manage.
For the podcast notes or just for your own notes?
My own notes, please. And I did a boatload of sets this week. It was very fun.
Me too.
Oh, good. And I have no sets in the upcoming week. I have 5 Dork Forests that I have scheduled because too many people have asked. And I'm just going to have to literally say no for a bit.
Sure.
Because I'll have 10 episodes in the can.
Yeah, you're good.
That's fine.
I did 2 live shows back to back.
Oh, you did Venice with Fitzsimmons, right?
Okay, I did Venice with Greg Fitzsimmons, who I love. Love Greg. I love him because, I just love him, but he's one of the few married comics with kids who fucking figured out how to do that, and his kids are great and his marriage is great. And, it's a lot of work, I'm sure, but I don't know. He just did it.
Yeah.
I'm not married. No, I'm not married.
But the thing is is it the married part that kind of shocks you?
I'm not married, and the dog I'm in charge of ate super glue this morning, so I'm not doing it right. That doesn't happen at the Fitzsimmons house. I fucking know that for sure.
You're probably incorrect. I'm sure that they've had some sort of dog drama. You have a large puppy, and that dog is going to eat whatever's in front of him for probably 2 years, I'm sorry to say.
Yes, it's her.
It's a her, that's right.
Yes. She got the super glue. It was tucked away, so she's getting crafty. She also goes into the hamper and grabs my bras that I bury underneath things, and then chews the straps. And here's the thing: you and we need our bra straps. Like, we can't have. We're not a strapless bra.
It's
lady.
Not a strapless bra moment. No, it is not.
So I've done costly repairs, and now I'm down to 1 bra, but I'm going to change bra sizes in like 7 weeks. So,
hit up Amazon. They're $40. The bra that we get. This is hey, listeners of the Jackie and Laurie Show.
Laurie and I wear the same a while ago.
I'm sure it came up on a previous episode, but you gave me a link to it's a great bra. I'm wearing it right now. I'm wearing the pink one.
And I have that one. for a while it was 19, and then it just people. I guess we made it popular, and it jumped up to like $60 to $70. I was shocked. So I don't know if it's 40 now, but I will, if I can, survive on this one bra till April 26th.
Yeah.
And then going shopping. So anyway, this outdoor show. It was in Venice. It was at a golf club. It's like, of course, our standards are so different because it was everything that's awful about a gig. It's outdoors. It's at night.
Right.
There are children at the show, and there are dogs in the front row. So it's endless distractions.
Right.
But it was so much fun. And Kevin Flynn. Do you know Kevin Flynn?
I've met him. I can't remember enough about him.
So funny. We did a commercial like for a car dealership like 20 years ago in New York, and he cracked me up so much I could never finish my takes. He would just like be making faces while I was talking to him, and the shoot went on forever. Everyone hated me, and then I accidentally badmouthed the director on my hot mic while I thought it was off. But whatever. So he was there, and Jackie Flynn. So it was like a real Boston, night, and Dennis Gubbins opened up, and Greg Fitzsimmons. It was a lot of fun. It was really cool.
That's awesome.
And then the next night I did Violet Cactus, which is a room in Burbank. It's like it's an events location, and they just have comedy
like by
there.
Pickwick or something, or
kind of. Well, no, by the high school, by Burroughs High School.
Okay.
It's easy to get to. I'm just saying it was a lot of fun. It was also magical. We're under, tinkling lights, little tea lights outdoors at night. And it was, it was so weird. There was a kid in the front row whose dad had died, and the comic before, his name's Obeid, but I forget his last name, was talking to him about it. And then I went up after him, and I looked at him, and he looked, Jackie, I wanted to crawl off stage and just hug the kid because he just looks so young. Like I was talking about my mom and stuff like that. And I forget, like, we're all sort of like, we're old, but we're also used to the death or whatever, so we're just ripping this shit out. No big deal. And then to see someone who's probably, I don't know, raw, but just
was he?
There,
How old was the kid?
18.
Okay.
That's, it's just like, oh, that's so fucking young to have that. Anyway, whatever. They were a lot of fun, the shows.
But the show was super fun. Well, good to hear it. It's I will be hitting you up for those. The Burbank one sounds more,
it's
the Venice one. And you would think a year later I wouldn't be such a dick about it, but where'd you park? How's the parking? We're back, you guys. We're back.
We're talking about the important things about stand-up comedy. Parking. Here's the thing. The Venice one is a one-off. It's because Greg usually has his St. Patrick's Day show at the Improv. So it was a one-off at the golf course, and planes, like low aircraft, was flying overhead. It was nonstop. It was every fourth joke there was a problem.
Right, but you were surrounded by other comics and actual humanity. So that holds some great allure.
Yes,
and,
for sure.
We have to figure out how to do. A couple of things are happening. One, of course, there's more and more people are getting the vaccine, and everyone is saying, "Yeah, I'm vaccinated. This is how I did it. I swear to God, I didn't jump the line." And I too have that story as well. And I get my second shot at the end of March 30th. And I was talking to Kyle, and I'm like, "Hey man, you got to get the shot because I want you to run the sound system in Laurie's backyard, and of course get a set." And I saw him grab the mic. I was like, "Yes, we'll pay you, and I would also like a set." "Yes, of course you would. You're a grown-up man, so you're an adult comic."
I did have to sneak it in though.
And my Milwaukee, I was all excited about it last week, going to Milwaukee to do that show, and it got canceled.
Why? Are they?
And,
they're having a resurgence in Michigan right now, which is.
Oh, are they?
I mean, I'm not an expert on that area of the country where you're from, but I think it's close by, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Sort of. And if I was doing Michigan, because the thing is I was booked at both Dr. Grin's and Ridley's.
Before the pandemic or just?
during
now?
the pandemic when I could have
Okay.
died. So
Yeah, right.
we're still in it. So I don't know if they've reopened for reals, but I was going to ask this week if they were rebooking because now I'm not going to be anywhere. Because here's what I want to do. Obviously, I have 2 weeks booked in May.
Right.
And that'll be 10 shows. 10 shows in probably in 2 weeks.
Right.
In front of 50 people a night, or
Right.
maybe 9 shows. I forget.
Right.
And then I will go, but I want to do, I want to do like maybe 20 shows before I ask Lewis for another date so that I could record this album. But I want to get the album done
yes,
before
right.
there's any kind of spike with a mutation, and just so it's in the goddamn can.
I think that's really hard to time, Jackie.
Yeah, it is.
I mean,
I think so. I think so.
You would be the one person on earth who beat the vaccine. I mean, beat the virus if you were able to time your album recording before a spike.
Oh, well, I'm hoping
that,
the vaccine works.
I know so far it doesn't seem like they're not saying this vaccine works against the UK variant, I think is the one B117 or something. But they're not saying it doesn't. They still don't know how much, so
right.
at least that's what I've read. So that's a little, of course, worrisome.
Right. And I don't even know what clubs are open right now.
Right.
Like I've been essentially stalking April Macy's page because she is working all over and never stopped.
Yeah,
right?
April and Erica. If you want to know what clubs are open, Erica Rhodes and April Macy have been working nonstop. So we're gonna ride on their tails and
right.
We can catch some work.
Right. And
I have 2 weeks as well, but they're not till July, till after Conan ends. I'm in at Stir Crazy in Phoenix or Scottsdale, whatever. One of those, I forget. There's a lot of suburbs of Phoenix. Right. And then I'm doing the Alameda Comedy Club the week after, which is our birthday weekend.
Oh, wow.
So that's like 2 nights of comedy in Alameda.
I
think they have like an outdoor area too. So it might be a little bit of a hybrid show.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. As long as it's, I think it's going to be, you've just essentially, I went into my own head going, oh, you emailed that guy. I meant to email that guy.
You're responding how you should have responded. I have no critique. You should always be distracted by work you're not getting. If you heard my head when I heard that you were pursuing Dr. Grins, I was like, okay, I'll call them. Yeah. I'm doing a TV show, not this week, but next week, that airs in Belfast.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. It's called
Are you doing stand-up?
It's something where you can weave a chunk in a conversation. It's kind of like there's like 3 acts and everyone's, gets questions that they answer, and you write it in advance, and then they hope for good riffs. And usually there are a few, and they overshoot and edit and all that kind of stuff. So I'm excited about that. I had a childhood crush on Bobby Sands before he passed away from hunger.
No, I don't remember
know that.
I don't remember that.
I think I told you that.
Sands?
What the fuck? I just threw something at you. Who's Bobby Sands? He's the first hunger striker to die in 1979, protesting the conditions that Margaret Thatcher was keeping the IRA in cell block H, I think. She was treating them as criminals.
The deep
and not
dive
political.
into Irish history.
It's not a deep dive. It's like layer 1 of knowledge, and you should be ashamed of yourself. This is the Armenian side of you who's not paying attention to
the Irish side
history.
Of me.
Yes.
Wow, look over there. Anyway, so let me just say that someone we know, because you're doing the show in Belfast, and it's going to be panel, but you're going to be able to farm some jokes in.
Yes.
I don't know if this is public knowledge. I'm going to put it in the chat, but a friend of ours is doing the Tonight Show.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and so she called me today to tell me that, and that was neat.
Mike Vecchione just did the Tonight Show.
Oh, cool.
And it's a very small audience, but it was a really great set.
Yeah.
So
Pete did it from Acme.
Okay, so he had like an Acme crowd.
He had the
laughing?
Acme audience, and
That's cool.
Lewis has 4K cameras.
And even NBC's like, Lewis, can we borrow your cameras?
Yes, that's it. And
that's cool.
Yeah.
I mean, I would love to do that.
Yeah, me too. So that's the other piece of news that I had. What else? Oh, I'm excited to see strangers. So I'm doing Seattle the first weekend, the 7-8 of May.
Oh, cool. At Laughs.
And
Okay.
then and that's, I think, 4 shows.
Mm-hmm.
Might be 5, but and then I'm going to Fort Collins to do the Comedy Fort, which is brand new. It's only been open. I think they opened it last March.
Oh my God.
And you're like, I'm so sorry,
God.
David Rodriguez. And I've been trying to get, we've been trying to figure out, and he's keeping it together. And, but that'll be the 13th and I think it's the 14, 15, 16. So Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Are you flying to both of these gigs?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then the Sunday I'll be in Boulder. Wow. Doing 2 shows in Boulder. And I've decided, have you noticed that comics are naming their road work now?
Oh, they were always doing that. Yeah. I mean, that's a.
Did this start? I like going on the road.
You froze for a second, but I've seen that before. Just calling weeks of work a tour. It's like, it's your life. It's not a tour. It's what you're going to be doing for 30 years, unless you think you're not. I don't know. But whatever. You know what? The audience loves it. They feel like they're part of something. I think it's actually pretty smart to do.
Better.
It does sound better.
Yeah,
it seems like an exclusive thing that's going to end next year. And so you better get out and see it this year. So it's actually very smart, but it is like,
it does feel weird.
It feels silly. But,
it feels silly. But I've decided to call it my frequent flyer miles tour.
I like it.
That'll be catchy, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we can call it that until I've used up my frequent flyer miles.
Jackie, no one's going to check. Here's the thing. You can call it that after you're paying for the tickets as well.
What are you, my dad? Nobody's going to check. Just tell him you got a comedy award in France. And I was like, Dad, the internet, they're going to look at, and he's like, nobody will check. Don't worry. You tell me you were like the number one. And I was like, besides the fact that that's lying, any chance? This is, I have to tell you, I came up with a new setup today for my dad's stuff.
Cool.
I did the Sunday services today.
Mm-hmm.
Bernadette Pauly, hilarious.
How's Bernadette? How's she doing?
She's doing great. Mm-hmm. After her set, I said, I know why you and Laurie are such good friends. You're so fucking, you're like knives, so sharp and so dark. And
oh man, she is sharp. She's very sharp and dark.
Super sharp and dark. And then Joelle Johnson, rocking it. And then how could I? It just happened, Jackie. It was like literally 5 hours ago. Bamford did a set.
Bam Bam.
Mm-hmm.
Bring in the Bam Bam. Would she like it if I did that all the time?
Pratik, a guy named Pratik, who is a friend of Carmen Morales's. He was very funny. He's a Chicago comic. And he told me his last name like 3 times. And I was like, I think I got it. Can't remember it now. Couldn't even pronounce it and decided not to hack it. So I just didn't introduce him by his first name because it's just a spotlight. It's just the Sunday afternoon show. So I was like, hopefully he was cool with that. He was super funny. And
great. And where's he from? Chicago?
Chicago comic, friend of Carmen Morales's. And
friend of Carm. Jackie, I'm so ready to hang out and be annoying.
Don't stretch yourself. Don't hurt yourself. It's
so
talk amongst yourself. Yeah.
I took out, let's see. So we're on hiatus this week, right? And I'm taking my son up to the Bay Area, and we're just gonna get out of the house because William is taking this wall behind you down, and
you're gonna break it up.
Awful.
Yeah,
for 2 weeks. So and gonna take Charmy on some of my dad's old walks, the places he used to take the Pepsis. And I don't know, I just miss the Bay Area. I want to drive by my parents' house, and I'm gonna sit and stare at it until it makes the new owners uncomfortable. So that's that. And I don't know, just show him some stuff, Bay Area stuff, some mom memories, because I don't think he's been up there since my dad died, which would be, when he was 7 or something. And that's just for a couple days. Okay, so I'm starting to, panic about money.
Yeah.
Because my money will be ending in June, right?
Right.
And I have money saved up. I'm okay, but I'm still, if there's time and there's numbers to crunch, my brain just starts, what if this happens? What if this happens? What if I do that? Okay.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, I gotta get this album out. That's that's potential income, please.
Yeah.
So I sat down and I instead of doing everything on spreadsheets, I did it old-fashioned way, analog. I wrote down all my joke names, and show 1, show 2, show 3. Okay, because Lisa Curry listened to all my sets and she graded them and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
And she said basically use the Saturday first as your base, and then if you want to grab these other bits from the Friday first or the Friday second, that's what I recommend, right? So I kind of like mapped it out the way she suggested, and now I have to do is listen to each chunk and circle show 1, show 2, or show 3. So I can say you take this from here and take that from there. It won't be too much mixing, but a little bit, like there was a joke I listened to when I listened to the Saturday first one that I kind of swallowed a word. Now, I guess nobody else noticed it that was listening to it, that was working on the album, but I was like, you can't understand me, I need to calm down. But so it's ready for me to listen to. Like all I have to do now is like listen to a joke, go, is this one acceptable? Yes. If it's not, then I'll find it on show 2 or show 3.
Yes.
And if it's acceptable, move the fuck on. Don't
move the fuck on.
And
That's
use
it.
Lisa's notes as a guide. That's it.
That's it. Because it has to be out.
It does have to be out.
You got to put it out. And it was the other person. I realized that all the comics that I named everybody but Chris Fairbanks.
So you weren't paying attention to my story at all. You were just trying to figure out who the 5th comic was.
No, but I was waiting. I was fascinated by your story.
I don't think
but
you
also waiting so that I could tell you that it was Chris Fairbanks, in addition to Bernadette and Maria and Joel.
Well, go ahead, start a story so I can retaliate. I have things to think about too.
Okay, I want to call it Retaliate. Yeah, I will. A friend of mine is selling her house in Agoura Hills. And
name? Do I know this person?
No, she's essentially my old boss.
Okay.
And but she's a friend of mine and has been for because I haven't worked at that job since 2003. So but the house at Agoura Hills, she's like, we were gonna save it because she had just retired, and she's probably 10 years older than we are. And it turns out houses in Agoura Hills are $1 million.
Yeah.
Who? What? It's it's a perfectly nice house, but that's
burb.
It's
houses. It's ridiculous here right now.
Yeah, and she
houses
said that
in Burbank are going for $1 million. Just like little shitty houses are going for $1 million.
Yeah, and not. Indoors is good. I wanna continue to live indoors, but This house is not big, and I think like I'm not a Zillow person. You know, I know that a lot of people got a lot of quarantine Zillow jokes out
I
there.
love Zillow. Love Redfin.
Well, feel free to look my house up because I'm not. Because I'm never moving. I'm never moving. It's a one floor. It's the exact house that my grandmother got old in, essentially.
The one you live in right
Yeah,
now?
the one I live in
You
is
have
going to
a
be
great
perfect for growing old.
Yes.
And I was also didn't William, the guy who's going to knock that wall out? Didn't William have the COVID? Have you got
He
to see
did,
him
yeah.
since?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
How's he doing?
Oh, he's fine. He's cleared. He was done with it a while ago, and yeah.
And he seems to have recovered fully.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
Good.
I think so. He said he might have a cough for a little bit, but you know.
Right,
yeah.
right.
Well, you know, you have a nice size lot. Like you could probably add, if you wanted to, later on, add more house to your house.
Well, almost every house in our neighborhood, because I live in essentially, it looks like it is the house that's on the Monopoly board, right? That's my house. So almost, and they planted the whole, they built the whole row in 1951. Our side of the street.
Oh,
The other
really?
side of the street was built in the 60s.
Okay.
Our
Different
side of the-
style.
It was totally different style. And ours, little ticky-tacky houses, almost every house on our side of the street has been expanded. And our house is the only one. We finally got our solar panels hooked up. The city finally approved our electricity, which is good because your air filters are costing my electricity bill a lot.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they've been we have 3 of them.
Right.
You encouraged me to buy air filters, and I bought them, and they've been running since June, I think, of last year.
You know, maybe now you can just wait till fire season to drag those babies out. Yeah.
Okay.
Unless you have people over. You know what I
Right,
mean?
right. If we have people over, that's a good idea too. It's just like when we use this room for gaming, which is what it was built for.
Yeah.
Because it's essentially it's got this really nice round table in it. It's perfect for board games, and yeah. So
I didn't realize, because I've been running mine too, although not recently, but I do have a high electric bill. So did you have to buy your solar panels or?
No, this is to my knowledge, we do not own the solar panels.
Okay.
But Andy's been trying to get the house solar for since we moved in 2004.
Mm-hmm.
And they've always said it was too little. And then finally some guy was like, we'll make it work. We'll make it work. And so now we have that.
But you don't pay for the solar panels then, or are you renting them?
We're renting them or leasing them. It'll defray the cost of electricity. It'll eventually pay itself off. Okay. Andy said he's got a lot of spreadsheets, a lot of Excel has been used.
I bet.
To make this, and he's always wanted it. So
no, that's good. I want that too. That's on my list.
Yeah, one of the dork forests I'm doing this week is with Emily Heller about saving water in Southern California.
Yeah,
that's her dorkdom is water barrels.
I have a couple water barrels. I haven't used them. They're full. They probably have 3-year-old water in them at this point. So that's the next step. I'm always interested. I'll buy the thing, but then actually using it is often a step I never take.
Yeah, I've been harvesting. We've been living off the broccoli and cauliflower, and today I cut a bunch of the beet greens and made a scramble with some Swiss chard with an egg on top. Just some garlic and ginger and a little bit of tamari, and then just beet greens and Swiss chard, and then I fried an egg, put it on top, and that'll do.
It's Pandemic Jackie
doing it. Other than that, I am you're spending your money on, well, actually you said the insurance is going to cover the breast reduction, right?
Yeah, breast reduction is I'm like trying to imagine a month and a half from now, right?
Okay.
I'll be in this space right here, but this wall won't be here. My bed will be back there, and I'll be facing the pool. Nice. And my boobs won't be weighing me down. What's that going to feel like? I'll never want to leave my bed.
You've inspired me to go to a dentist, Laurie Kilmartin.
Oh,
I don't know if you know this. I've always
tooth reduction.
My teeth have always been kind of fucked up, and but they work. They do the thing and I brush them, and so I've always had teeth. It's always been working out for me, but there's no like you don't get braces if you're 6 kids, right? There's no braces,
right?
So but I'm thinking. But I'm gonna go. I haven't been to a dentist in probably 15 years, and
really, wow,
yeah. Some people love dentists. I am unmoved. It feels like, what are you gonna do that I'm not doing? Well, I'll tell you what they're gonna do is they're gonna make them cleaner than they are.
Yeah, you're gonna find out when they start scrubbing away at your plaque. You're gonna go, that's what you do.
So I don't know what they're gonna do, but it's gonna be great. Hey, let's do a Max Fun break.
Okay.
And then let's also talk about, so one of the shows I did is with Marga Gomez this week.
Can I just say, Marga popped up on my iTunes, and I thought I was listening to Fran Lebowitz. If you listen to her, she has a similar sort of, I don't know, her voice goes through that same narrow canyon that Fran Lebowitz goes through. I love it.
That's awesome. She was hilarious. I did her show, which is more of a variety show. She interviewed somebody, and I think you did it last month.
I did. Not last month, but I have done it. Yeah.
Yeah. And, but the other comic that was on it, I believe a Bay Area comic, and she was fucking hilarious, was, her name is, Micia Mosely. Micia Mosely, cool. Micia. And she was cracking me up. It was just like this whole thing about, just going forward. You essentially making do with the situation in front. She had like the premise was about I don't want to ruin the joke, but it was just about making do with the premise, the situation in front of you, but also full of rage. So take that premise and then slap like 3 punchlines in the middle of it. And what you got right there, funny person.
I'm sold.
You're sold. Micia Mosely. How do you, what was her handle, Kyle? Do you remember?
Oh, it's Micia_Mosely.
MICIA _ Mosely. MOSELEY.
Yes.
MOSLEY. That's it.
It's like Felicia. The Leisha part is like Felicia.
Yes.
Okay.
ICIA. Yeah. It'll be in the notes too.
Yes.
So. Outstanding.
I am watching this great show called Call My Agent. It's French.
I saw you.
Jen Kirkman wouldn't stop tweeting about it, so I was like, "All right, I'm in." And it's
what
so
platform?
Good.
What platform?
It's on Netflix. It's
okay.
It's a French show. There's like 5 seasons. Which after like the 2nd episode, I was like, "Wait, there's like 30 more of these." Oh, thank you, God. It's
Sitcom?
really great.
Hour.
It's an hour. It's about 4 agents in Paris, and they get a lot of cameos from French superstars who play their clients. Like Isabella Johnny plays herself, Christopher Lambert plays himself, and it's just really funny and well done. And they're all 4 of the agents. Their characters are. They're different and they're well thought out, and you keep getting more information about them. All of their stories are interesting in very different ways. They didn't go heavy on one and then, skimp on another.
That's good. So
yeah,
solid.
It's really good.
Solid writing, excellent acting,
Yes.
Subtitles or dubbed?
Well, I mean, do you speak French? It's up to you. It is in French and with subtitles. Yes.
Thank you. Thanks for
that
playing.
made me. But just listening to French, I can't imagine understanding what they're saying. No matter how much you study French, it's just it all goes in their mouth, right? Like they barely open their mouths when they speak. It all stays inside there. Maybe that's just Parisian French or France French. You know what I mean? Like maybe in other countries where they speak French, it's different. But
they're shouting it in Algeria. They're enunciating better.
Maybe Canada, Haiti, right? Do they speak French in Haiti? Yes, they do, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay. So maybe it's different. The enunciation is different there, or more English. You know how English is very like it was just, I was like, I couldn't do it. Like if I moved to Luxembourg, I have to learn German, because that sounds like English in a way, because they hit every single, consonant. But French is just, it just goes right into their lungs. I can't.
I love
can't hear
French.
it.
I love
It's
French.
beautiful.
But German is harder for me. Well, I studied French and Latin, and German is Germanic. So it is,
Right.
it is, so it for some reason is more foreign to me than French, but,
When someone's speaking French, do you understand them?
a little bit.
That's not good enough for French
I'm not going
people,
to
by
say
the
that I'm
way.
fluid. Fluid? I think the word is fluent. You know what? I can't
You're doing
speak
so many
English.
gender jokes now that fluid is your word instead of fluent.
And I don't speak English. A lot of people don't know this about me, is that my English is a little dodgy. What was, I was going to say that what I'm watching, first of all, I bought it on Disney, The Raya and the Last Dragon.
Okay.
Disney. It was $30, but I think I own it. But it's out in the theaters too. So,
Okay.
and it is, it's gorgeous. It's adorable. They nailed it. It's Southeast Asia. All the actors are Southeast Asian. And it's very sweet and funny and smart. And I loved it. So Raya and the Last Dragon was great. And then also Falcon Soldier. Of course, watching that, Falcon and the Winter Soldier. The new Marvel show.
I'm aware of it because I am on Twitter. I had to mute so many words and phrases this week that part of me is like, oh, people stopped watching the Avengers.
Wait, what did you? Yeah, I saw that. What do you mean you had to mute?
Okay, wait, I'll put this in the chat.
Okay. Well, because I have to say that.
This is what I had to mute.
Okay.
Oh, I'm so excited right now.
I'm so excited, Kyle.
Jackie, I couldn't take
Bless
it.
you, Laurie Kilmartin. Bless you.
Oh,
You know what?
yeah.
I'm
yeah.
a sensitive person. I'm sorry. I'm a sensitive person. Okay.
We've always known. We've always known. When I think of a hothouse flower.
When I log onto Twitter and it's the whole timeline is filled with something I'm not in, I can't do it. I'm sorry. It hurts my feelings. I good luck to everybody. I'm happy for everybody, but I got to take care of this lady. Okay.
Right. Yeah,
I'm
you
having
do.
surgery in 4 weeks. I got to be in great mental shape to deal with my new
It's all
exciting
self-care.
body.
It's Kilmartin self-care. Do it. Do it.
Yes.
Don't hold yourself back.
Yeah.
And but I will say, yeah, I didn't know that it was that what you typed was happening at all until you told me. So I wasn't. I had moments of not being mad, and then I was like, well, this looks dumb anyway. But it's a classic.
I think it looks fine. And
Well, documentaries are stand-up documentaries in general.
they're tough. I mean, but who knows?
hard.
You can't be in everything, you know? I mean, I was in the Patrice documentary and I'm sure there's a ton of people going, I was his best friend. Why the fuck is this bitch in it? Like, I understand. That's the thing. I understand all sides. Okay.
Yeah, you
I
get
understand all sides, but I just needed to, I noticed that every time I would see an ad, I would like feel bad.
Right, you just
And I'm like,
have to check out from it. That's all.
Yes, checking out, wishing everyone luck.
Yeah, and it's fine. My part in the Patrice special, of course, was him just being distantly polite. Anyway, and
Wow,
just-
you will never let that go.
how could I? How could I? You came up with such a great line about it. But I will say that back to what I'm watching on television, I think this is quality podcasting.
Jackie,
WandaVision. Did you
these
end up
people
watching?
can turn us off anytime they want to.
It's true.
And please do. You know what? Please do. I'm tired of this pressure.
It's did you ever end up watching WandaVision at all?
No, I haven't. I'm watching, as I said, Call My Agent.
Yeah. You're watching that, and that's fine. I'm still not done with Ted Lasso, which I'm looking forward to. I'm also watching Mochi and Waffles and Mochi.
Oh, I heard that was really good.
It's adorable. It's actually like it's got a lot of adult like parent jokes in it for the parents of their tiny children who are learning about rice and sugar and whatever. But it's it's essentially it's a puppet that's half Yeti and half waffle, and his best friend, which is a piece of mochi.
How do you pitch that? Let's just go to the pitch meeting.
Here's all you have to say. Michelle Obama plays the grocer.
Okay. Yeah.
That's how you
Sold.
pitch that, and it's executive produced by the Obamas.
Okay. Yeah.
And it is on Netflix, and it's adorable.
Okay.
And so, I'm happy with that. I'm happy with all of my television choices. I'm trying to like the British pottery throwing show.
I'll check that out.
It's okay. It isn't as nice as the Bake Off because the potters, one guy cries, and when he sees pots that he loves, but he's also super brutal. He's like, "There's nothing here," and you're like,
okay.
"Dude,
It's just a pot."
yeah, they're amateur potters. If you could chill the fuck out."
Yeah, my son hijacks my nights with anime.
With anime.
Yeah. So we're watching Promise Neverland season 2, which is so distressing. It's the show is about children who are raised in a farm to be eaten, right? And so
Sure.
and they're anime kids, so like you love all of them, and so they're on the run, and it's just every episode it causes me great anxiety.
Yeah. People who love anime, they love a dark tale.
It's
woe.
grim. Everyone is grim fairy tales. Attack on Titan is last week's episode didn't come out because there was a tsunami and an earthquake in Japan, a slight one. There was an earthquake and maybe a slight tsunami. You know what? Retract tsunami. There was definitely an earthquake, but it slowed down. So they didn't release it. They're releasing 2, I think this weekend. So my son and I will watch those. We're really into that. And
Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Kaisen.
Falcon and Winter Soldier is sort of it's spy stuff, kind of like the Winter Soldier TV show, movie rather.
Yeah,
the Civil War, and it. I can tell that I'm going to really like it, but WandaVision was epic storytelling, an epic use of the medium, and I can't express to you like they literally recreated. They talked to the guys who wrote and directed and shot the Dick Van Dyke Show, so that they could recreate the lighting.
Wow.
They built the lighting. There was a live studio audience for the first episode, and they sat on those stupid wooden chairs that live studio audiences used to have to sit on. Mm-hmm. Like I watched the making of WandaVision.
Oh, neat.
And it was also on Disney Plus, which is, and that's going to be episodic. Like after the 6 episodes of Falcon and Winter Soldier, there's going to be the making of Falcon and Winter Soldier, and then after the however many episodes of Loki, there's going to be the making. It's going to be like that, and I don't know. It's just so there's just really good work being done. Anyway,
right? When are we supposed to be creating anything?
I don't know, but
everyone so much.
Everyone thinks that the pandemic is over because millions of people and 23 or 24% of Californians have gotten the first shot.
Right.
Which is amazing.
Right. But
85% is what we're looking for, by the way.
Okay. Yeah, we'll get there. But when this idea, my novel idea, it's going nowhere. So my friend Cheryl and I are going to try to work on it as a TV show, which was my original idea. And then I was like, this is too, maybe it needs more. I don't know. But it's also, I need help roping it in. It feels like something that's spilling out of containers, and I don't even know where to start the cleanup,
Right. Just too big.
It's just
too
everywhere.
big going
There's
in too many
muck
directions.
everywhere. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. So like thinking about, July and on, what I need, the amount of money I need every month to make my net.
Yep.
Did you say, Jackie, my net, I've taken on quite a bit of debt in my net, but whatever, it's fine.
It's fine. There'll always be more money.
Yes.
That's the correct answer. That is the correct answer, Laurie Kilmartin. Yes.
It's all a plan for the future, plan for my son, whatever, right?
Yeah.
It's not, I don't have like a sports car. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Okay.
Right.
I feel like it's all responsible debt.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I'm just trying to, it's weird because I never thought about this before. But the Writers Guild has you have a pension.
Yeah.
Did you know that?
No, but I think I did, but I think I've been blocking it, much like not being cast in third.
Yes. But I mean, I think SAG has a pension too, right?
Right. I would have to be eligible for it.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's something I never thought about. I'm like, oh, that's like to me, pension is a word from Bruce Springsteen songs about people that lost it, right? And
you're the last generation right now. Like when the people I know that have pensions, like my mother-in-law has a pension.
Right.
Her whole generation, there were a lot of there's a solid percentage of 75-year-olds who have pensions.
Right. Okay. So yes. Although that even those companies seem to have chipped away at that,
but people that
they
are
lost
our
a lot
age,
of money,
that are 55 years old, almost no one has pension.
No, I wasn't
Yeah.
raised with pension. Like my dad was an engineer, no pension. So it was like, oh, that's one of those solid people problems, and I'm a comic and my pension is I'm going to be famous.
Did you look at what your WGA pension will pay out?
Well, here's the thing. I can start taking it in July.
Because we're going to be 56.
Yeah. And I can take it, the amount, if I took it, like I figured out, well, if I live till I'm 85, I would make the most if I waited till I was 60 years old. But if I take it now, the amount from my pension covers my house payment. And part of me is like, you know what? I like to not be freaked out about that shit. It'll be less money overall, but it'll be.
You're going to be 60 in 4 years.
Fuck you, bitch. How dare you say that to me? How dare you say that to me?
I know it does feel brutal.
It's shocking, Jackie, and I never want to hear those words again.
Well, I don't want to say them. And yet, just think of the comedy I'm going to be writing in the next 60 years without a pension.
That's right. Yeah, no, yeah. I mean, that's the thing. It's I never thought about it. It was just like this, this email that you get from the Writers Guild every, a couple months or something. And it's like, wow, that's real.
That's real.
That makes a huge difference. Mm-hmm. But should I hang on and wait a little bit?
Well, I mean, if you hang on, you every month you hang on, it gets better. Is that true?
A little bit.
Sort of like
say
Social
I get another.
Security?
Yes, I get another job in like 3 months. Then what?
We're close to 45. So Kyle was
actually at 48.
So
I was just checking, making sure we hadn't moved past it.
Okay. Let's do a second break.
I was trying to stop a good convo. That's why I was trying to do it via message.
Well, you blew it, Kyle.
Damn it.
But so tell me what the plan.
So like if I were to get another job in a couple months, or if Cheryl and I write this thing and we sell it, right? Then it starts over again, and you get like a second pension that starts. The clock starts accruing. The studios pay into it. That's what. I guess what I'm saying, long story short, is the Writers Guild is fucking awesome. Yeah. And they thought ahead. People who did this, who thought of this stuff, thought about me and other writers. They thought ahead and were like, we're going to take care of you.
Pensions are great. Everyone should have them. The government
Yes.
spends trillions of dollars on nonsense. They could spend trillions of dollars on social nets that were
Yes.
pensions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Social Security is like a pension, but companies could have pensions, especially the ones that are
Well,
making so much fucking money. They
Social
just have to put a
Security-
little bit in.
It is a pension to some extent in the fact that we've all been paying into them. We've been paying into Social Security for 35 years. So when they talk about cutting Social Security, you're like, oh, you're going to take away that money that I've been paying in to
Right.
taxes
Right,
for the
right.
last 35 years? Well, why don't you fuck yourself?
Yeah.
And so they're like, it's a handout. You're like, no, it's the money I gave you, you dumb shit. And so, yeah, no, I think you're going to be fine.
No, I'm not. I will be fine. I'm fine, and I'm not trying to gain sympathy or anything like
I have
that.
a
I'm just
question.
saying, like, for someone who I feel like is a comic, the fact that this thing exists for me is astonishing, right?
Yeah.
It kind of blows my mind, and
Because
it
you
feels,
hadn't, yeah.
yeah, it's like a cushion to fall into, and I don't know, everyone deserves it. And now don't all become writers, please. We can't handle the competition. But also every guild should be as good as a writer's guild, you know?
Right. That would be great.
Like the director's guild, who strikes all the time? It's writers.
Yeah.
The writers
they're
are
not
always
wrong.
like, all right, we'll fucking do it, right? And I say we, but there's other writers that are doing all that work.
Right.
And they got rid of packaging, SAG and the DGA don't follow through. They kind of let the Writers Guild do all that stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know.
That's great.
Your
That's good
question. I
news.
don't know if I have no idea if I'm going to be on the new Conan show.
Okay.
No,
Still no.
I'm assuming the worst. That's why I'm thinking I should take this thing now. And then,
But you don't know, so it might be even better than it is right now.
possibly.
So
Yes.
I like to think that your life is just getting better, Laurie.
You know what? You just jinxed me to die in surgery.
Wow, this sort of thing, this sort of
Tragic.
jinxing of voodoo dolls and bullshit. I'll be over here, not. Anyway,
No,
So-
I
know
is-
you prepare for the worst and hope for the best, right?
Right,
That's
but-
how I've always lived my
Yes.
life. Anyway,
Yes.
and it's been like I don't know this, but this is the impression that I've gotten from male comics. I think it's all going to work out. That's my impression of how male comics live their lives from the
Right.
80s on.
Right.
And they put nothing aside, and then eventually they buy a shack or a van, or like if they're lucky, they get like a
know a
thing that
van
has
comic.
a toilet in it, and then they live their lives.
It's Nomadland. Yeah.
Right, and then they park it in the hills, and they're like, well, I bought a half an acre in the Hollywood Hills in the 12th century. You know who did that? And lived on in one of those caravan things was this guy. He did stand up for a long time.
Oh, I'm talking about this guy.
And then
from-
he got evicted. They said, well, that's not a real house. And he's like, yeah, but I own the, yeah. And, oh, Christ, of course.
Yeah.
And
then of course,
and then this person. Oh, wow.
you know what I mean?
It's,
Yeah. I mean, there's some older guy comics. I'm like,
that aren't
I
planned.
don't know. I don't know how they're living. It's really
Yeah, because this
Scary.
is, I always think that I'm going to die like this person who died, who was a Minneapolis comic. And
Shit, really? Oh,
homeless in Vegas, died. And also had a gambling problem and some drinking issues, but she was a very funny, she's a great comic, Laurie. I don't understand how it didn't work out for her. Well,
I know. You're like, but you're funny. How were you not wealthy?
how did
How
you
are you
not know?
struggling when you're funny? I still
Right.
can't wrap my head around it sometimes.
Well, that the first advice that I ever got in stand-up was from Vanda Michalowski, right? It's on my website. And she told me, if you are consistently funny, there will always be work for you. And that is also but it's also I mean, it's necessary also that you not be addicted to heroin, right? It also helps that you aren't, I don't know, sleeping with 15-year-olds and being arrested for statutory rape in Florida, which is what that guy with the dog. Remember that guy with the shaggy dog? And
Winston?
Yeah, Winston, that guy. Yeah, the Winston was the name of the dog. That's so funny that you just remember.
And I heard he abused Winston too. Yeah.
Look at this gasping. Some 15-year-old slept with a 32-year-old and it's gross. But he hurt the dog? No.
No, I said two. In addition.
No, I'm saying me.
Oh.
Yeah. No, that guy, I think he's out now, but he was just one of those. She looked 18, and I was like, you should leave 18-year-olds alone.
If she looked 18, he wouldn't be interested in her. Let's be honest. He wanted someone who looked 15. But, like Roy Woods Jr. wrote a really good thing about saving up, right? Comics are that's just not our mentality. Like, if it was up to me, I'm just grateful the Guild did all that stuff,
For you. Yeah.
Yeah. Because we don't think like that. I actually think you can't think like that. You have to believe you're going to be super successful to put up with all the shit. So the part of you that thinks that is not the part of you that's like, put away money for an IRA, they're just two different brains.
Well, I think that some comics do. I know that Carmen Morales always has a sort of a nice prudent reserve. And Maria Bamford, huge fan and encouraged me along, luckily, I started getting into this thing, but I had Andy, when I full on started saving up for real. What I started doing is I was just saving whatever gigs I did that I got cash for. I was like, that's gravy. That's mine. I can buy sneakers. I can do whatever I want with that.
Yeah.
I can buy all the romance novels I want. And by the way, can't read a romance novel right now. I'm romanced out. I think with Biden, I don't need to stop. There's some voices are quieted. And this is true. Sometimes
Wait, Trump drove you to romance novels?
Oh, I for 5 years.
Okay.
I must have spent $3,000 on romance novels in the last 5 years, and they're $7-8 a pop. That's a lot of romance.
Fucking
novels.
go to the library. We have Libby. Don't you remember last week's integration? Our sponsor, Libby.
I didn't have Libby last week.
Oh my God.
What, Kyle?
I said not a sponsor this week.
Right.
You're such a hard ass, Kyle. I continue to give out love.
No free stuff.
Where are we at, Kyle? Curiously.
We are 2.5 minutes away.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, but I will say that, oh God, I don't know what I want to say.
So comics, first of all,
10%. Save 10% of the checks. All the cash is free.
Yeah.
That's what I do.
Try to buy property when
buy land, yes, but I'm
collapse.
literally making $1,200 a week, right? I'm making $1,200 a week. If I save $120 each week by a year of work, which is 45 weeks, right? Mm-hmm. I had like $4,000.
Did you put that? Did you put that in an IRA so that you wouldn't be taxed on it, or did you just?
No, okay. Not right away. I had, and then the next year I made more money, and so like 10%, and then my money went up, right? And as I was making more money, but that first year I was only making $1,200 a week headlining, and then this last year I was making $35,000 to $5,000, right? So back when it was pre-COVID, right?
Right.
And so and now we're post-COVID, and I'm back to making shitty, mediocre headliner money again. But the thing is, I can rebuild, and we can all rebuild. And if you can afford it, try to do that, because the 10, you won't notice it. Hopefully, right? Like, you'll just put the 10% somewhere, and then at the end of the year, you'll have a couple of grand, and it'll be a good buffer up against bad weeks.
Right. I mean, here's the thing: you're going to be old like us. Jackie, can you believe we're old? What the fuck?
What are you saying? Is that how I'm supposed to say it?
But I mean, we were like, it happened. If it can happen to Jackie and me, it can happen to you. You could
you
not
only
die.
You could not die, and one day
continue.
be in your
And one
50s.
day you're going to be like, what am I going to, I'm going to be 70 and 75, and how am I going to live? I don't know. It's just such a hard thing to think about when you're in the throes of your stand-up comedy, when you're in the grind,
Yeah.
when you're pursuing that. But it's a good thing to think about,
Yeah, you got to plan for the future in some small way, and and we can't all marry rich,
Mhm.
and so the lottery is dumb, and
Now, excuse me, I did win $4 in the lotto a couple weeks ago, so I don't think it's that dumb. Where'd she go? Why is she leaving?
She's gone. We're done. Goodbye, Jackie.